Good morning, 4K. Jamie here from my house. I get to teach a lesson from my home today, which is so strange and different than what we usually do. But I hope that you're enjoying your time at home with your family, cooped up inside. I'm doing a lot of fun things outside in my yard as much as I can to get some fresh air. And it reminded me of how much I enjoy the outdoors. So I chose a story to read to you today about being outside. The story is actually written by my favorite photographer. A photographer is somebody who takes pictures with their camera of beautiful things. This man's name is Chris Burkhardt, and he takes pictures of places all around the world that he visits. And I think you might enjoy the pictures as much as I do, so I thought I would share with you today. The story is called The Boy Who Spoke to the Earth by Chris Burkhardt and David McClellan. In this story, I want you to look at the pictures and think about what it might feel when you are in a place like that. This first picture shows something that you might even know. Look in the sky. See those? Tell your grown-up what you think those are called. We learned about them when we talked about the Arctic, the Northern Lights, or the Aurora Borealis. I think they're so beautiful. This is called The Boy Who Spoke to the Earth. There once was a boy who spoke to the earth, and the earth spoke back. Earth, are you listening? My boy, I am always listening. Where can I find happiness? The journey to happiness is difficult, but I can show you the way, said the earth. Are you willing to make the journey? Oh, I am, said the boy, and he meant it. Then go to the ocean, where waves tower overhead, said the earth. So the boy began to walk. I see the water and the shells, said the boy, but I don't see happiness. Then go to the cliffs where water is always flowing, said the earth. So the boy waited and he wandered until he left the waves behind. I see the spray and the moss, said the boy, but I don't see happiness. Then go to the forest where trees gather together, said the earth. So the boy stepped and he strode until he left the moss behind. I see the roots and the leaves, said the boy, but I don't see happiness. Then go to the desert where red stone guards the way, said the earth. So the boy hiked and he hauled until he left the trees behind. I see the sand and the stone, said the boy, but I don't see happiness. Then go to the mountains where peaks touch the clouds, said the earth. So the boy trekked and he trudged until he left the sand behind. I see the rocks and the brush, said the boy, but I don't see happiness. Then go to the top of the world where lights dance in the sky, said the earth. So the boy climbed and he crawled until he left the peaks behind. I see the ice and the snow, said the boy, but I don't see happiness. This time the earth did not answer. So the boy walked and he walked and he walked until he left it all behind. I've traveled so far and I've seen so much, but I still haven't found happiness. Earth, are you listening? Cried the boy. My boy, did you look without seeing? Asked the earth. Go back along the trail, but this time stand still for just a moment. So he went back and he looked again. Look at that beautiful picture. And for the first time, the boy truly saw happiness was all around him. And that's the end of my story. The question he asked was, did you look without seeing? Have you done something that you forget to think about how much fun you're actually having? So my question for you is, what makes you happy? Are you happy when you are outside? Are you happy when you are inside? I don't know. I'm the most happy when I am outside. My activity for you today is to be creative. Yesterday, Sarah asked you to draw a picture of a still life, of something in your house that was a still life. Today's activity is to draw or paint a picture of a landscape. Do you remember what a landscape is? It's something that you might see outside, maybe when you look out your window. If you have something inside that you want to paint, that is okay too. I did not have watercolor paints at my house like I was hoping to, so I painted my picture using paints that I used for a birdhouse that I once made. And this is the picture that I made because I love the mountains. So I had a paintbrush and I had some outside paints and I made a picture of mountains, kind of. It's not perfect. I did the best I could. I put colors down and I thought in a picture in my head and I just kept going. If you have paints at your house, paint me a picture of something you like to see outside or a favorite thing inside that makes you happy. I was hoping that you could think about making a landscape picture. After you're done with that, you can show me a picture of it, post it online, and if you don't have paints, you can always use crayons or markers or colored pencils or whatever else you have in your house. When you are done with that, tell your grown-up something that makes you happy. And if you choose to FaceTime, or if your grown-up chooses to write on our Google Classroom, you can write down what makes you happy so we can know what brings you joy in your heart. When you're done with that activity, I will be having another link on our page that you can do a fun science experiment with your family. Remember on the first page of the cover, there's the Northern Lights. That reminded me of a kind of activity you could do with some funny ingredients to swirl color all around, and maybe it will look like the Northern Lights for you. I'll put a link showing the directions if you want to do some science at home today as well. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to sharing another story with you tomorrow. Bye, 4K.